Hello everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. I'm finishing some more sort of handwork actually. I made a few more bags that I like to make in this particular sort of a semi-crazy quilt style, but not really, because I didn't really do a lot of hand stitching, still have a sore hand. So I thought I would show you how I go about sort of finishing them. This is one of them, and I made them look a little bit different. This one has a green lining and a green back, and this one has a red lining and a red back, because to me this one's a little more royal looking, a little more regal you might say. And now the finishing touches are, I've already sewn in the lining and I've already stitched the opening up inside, and now all I have to do is put on a cord handle, which is going to be this cord for this one, and on this one it's going to be this red cord. And I made the handles really long so they can be down on your hip. The bags can be worn down on your hip, cross body sort of things. Those would be nice. Okay, so now the way I put the trim on the bottom, many different ways, but because these were so padded, I just could not insert the trim, the lace, fringing, as I sewed the bottom, and I decided to sew it on after. It does present a few problems. One is getting it to where it hangs properly without like a seam on the front and the back. I wanted it to look nice on both sides. So this is what I did. On this particular bag, I've started it, and I've sewn from, I sew from that corner. I've put a little dab of glue to hold each corner, this corner and this corner, and I place the trim, the fringe trim, like that, and you'll notice that in the center there's a gap, and that's where I ended right there. And I've still got the thread somewhere here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I've fastened it off, and I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to proceed the same way from the top on the other side. I figured that was the best way to get it even. So this one here, sorry, it was well caught, the thing tipped over. Okay, so to get it even here, what I did was I turned this to the back. In other words, the lace trim is facing the back, so I did that. And I'm going to start at the bottom again, and I'm actually sewing the lace very much invisibly as I can to the lining part of the back side of it. Okay, it's kind of hard for me to do this way, but anyway, this is what I'm doing. I'm sort of doing a little overcast stitch, I call it. Whip stitch, I think you call it. Yeah. And I'm just doing that to do it right from the point to the other side. So I'm basically doing this in about 3 parts. That way I can watch what's going on, I get it to hang nicely, and I'm happy. So I'm almost coming to the top. It's a little bit tricky for me. As I said, I've got a sore hand. There. And I put a little dab of glue, which obviously must have been more than a dab. And so it's hard for the needle to go through the glue. There we go. Doing that, last pieces. So there I am, and I'm almost to the top where I started with the glue at the top. The point on the sides is where I've fastened this to. Okay, good, I'm right there now. Good, so I'll fasten that off, and then all I have to do is the center. And I have a few choices. I can make the center a bit different, or you can just go ahead and ease it into place, which is probably what I'm going to do. I could add another tassel. If I had one handy, I could do that. I do have tassels, and I can always add it later. Okay, so I've got that much done. So that much is done, and you notice it's still pooching out in the center. That's where I have to grab that. So now the other thing to do here is to stitch that where it's like that and make it into a nice folded piece. So again, I'm going on the back, and I'm just going to whip stitches and ease it as I do that. This way I see how much I have to do, and it'll make sort of a neat fold so it hangs prettily. If you don't do a fold at the bottom, well then it doesn't hang straight. And I have to push it through this way because of the angle I have this on. So I'm sort of sewing it on backwards, you might say. Okay, so I've finished that off. Then I'll turn it over to the right side. Well, let me show you the back side first, so you can see it's all neat on the back. There are no ugly seams showing. And on this side, the same thing. And of course, I'm going to press it, and that'll take care of any other little puckers, but I think that's just fine. So that's how that looks. I put a little velvet heart there, and I did a little bit of ribbon work there, and just a little bit here, and a little bit here that actually become obscured pretty much. And then the rest of it was pretty much done by machine. I did sew these beads on, the ones at the top I sewed on by hand. So there's the lining, and all I have to do now is sew this in one side. And I had to hand dye this cord. Didn't have a matching cord, so this one is hand dyed. Okay, so I will be sewing the handles in there so it'll look like that. Anyway, that's just some ideas for you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.